He's talked about a whole lot here. What do you think about some of those?
I think it's misguided.
How?
Totally misguided. You're talking of bringing in money so that you don't round up. And you have rounded up all the cobbles in the system. There's no more cobbles. So what are you talking about, you know, trying to make sure that people don't round up? You yourself, you as an authority, you have rounded up all the cobbles. There are no more cobbles in the system. The places he's talking about, till tomorrow, they keep having pennies and cents and things like that, and they use it. What is happening is that your monetary policy, your currency profile is the product of your monetary policy framework. And if it fails, you would keep having, like Zimbabwe and Ghana and places like that, you keep having higher and higher and higher denominations. Certainly he cannot tell me that 5,000 will be the end of the game, the way things are. Because as I've explained earlier on, inflation at over 10% annually will mean that 5,000 naira cannot buy what it buys today. It will probably be buying 1,000, about 1,000 naira, meaning that 5 years down the road, you will say, we need a bigger currency to make sure you don't carry money and things like that. And it goes on and on and on.
He's asked that you explain in clear terms what you mean by 40
Excellent.
Thank you very much,
policy. Ms. Ogun. If you have a central bank that is consciously telling Nigerians that I don't need money that I'm going to use, but I'm going to borrow money all the same at 15%. A country like Spain, a country like Greece, as badly off as they are reluctant to borrow in critical crisis positions at more than 7%. Our own central bank is gladly telling us that I am mopping up, meaning that I am taking money out of the system because there's so much money in the system, and I'm willing to pay 15% for it. If you have that kind of central bank, you don't need to wonder why we are poor. Because the ripple of that incident alone, that simple incident, means, of course, that the banks don't have to look at you, the serious business people. Because why? They had a government that is, how would I say it, patronizing enough or collusive enough, if you can use that word, to give them money on one hand and go back and borrow it at 15%. And they tell you confidently to your face that the money is going to be sterilized, meaning that we are not going to use it. If that is not the beginning of a faulty monetary policy or framework, I don't know. But I could tell you more if you want me to do so.
Mr. Korafo, you heard your you got your explanation now. What do you think?
I'm totally, let me tell you, I'm confounded by his statement. Can he confirm once again that he said that it is the central bank that borrows money at 15%? I want him to say so that the whole world will hear that he's saying that it's central bank that borrows money at 15%. I'm totally confounded at that. I want to be sure that's what he said.
How much do you borrow money at?
No, does the central bank borrow money?
Do you take money? I mean, when the DMO issues out some of its instruments, treasury bills, does it not have anything to do with your own monetary policy as well?
Treasury bills, please, excuse me, please. The central bank, is it the federal government? I think he's mixing institutions up, and see, this is the problem. Everything is central bank. If there is power failure, it's central bank. If there is problem with agriculture, it's central bank. If there are bad roads, it's central bank. If security, is central bank. Is it central bank that borrows money for government activities, or is it government that borrows money? Please, let's when we are making some arguments, let's not be emotional about it, and let's be professional about it.
All right, people also want to know, Mr. Korafo, there are two parts of that response. What about the part that, I mean, why jump from 1,000 naira to 5,000 naira? Because as he said, 5,000 naira today, can you hear me, Mr. Korafo?
To confirm, is it the central bank that borrows money? Please don't confuse Nigerians, and I think it's blatant falsehood. Please.
Well,
no, please, I have to reply to that. You can't say what I'm saying is falsehood. I mean, you guys are all witnesses. I bet at News at 10 today, you will say the central bank has borrowed, has sold treasury bills. Whether it's central bank, when it is good, you will say the central bank did good. When it is bad, you say, no, we didn't do it, it's government that did it. But every time when they say treasury bills have been sold, you don't say the government sold treasury bills. You say the central bank sold treasury bills and is willing to pay 15% or thereabouts for money that they are not going to use. And we are all sitting down and saying, why are we poor? Of course you'll be poor.
There is financial stability. And when there is liquidity in the system, we mop up the liquidity. And it's not that we go and borrow money, please. The treasury bills are the things that, I mean, there are things that, go and ask the federal government. We are the central bank of Nigeria, and please don't misinform people.
All right, talk about the second part of that, if you will, now. The fact that...
What is the second part, please?
What's the rationale jumping from 1,000 naira to 5,000 naira? Because as we've seen in some other claims, of course, IC also says you won't stop at 5,000 naira today or tomorrow, because who knows? Are you going to come up with 10,000 naira next time?
Do I tell you something?
Please do.
The fact that you have your salary in coins, or you have them in 100 naira notes or 500 naira notes, will not in any way increase the amount of money in your pocket. You still have the same amount of money, so your spending habits as a rational consumer will be the same. Now, what we have said is that we have a cashless policy. There is too much money in the system in terms of currency notes, and it is difficult to manage. If you fill a bullion van with 5,000 naira notes, you will need to fill 50 bullion vans with 100 naira notes to achieve the same effect. If you fill an ATM vault with 5,000 naira notes, you need to have 50 vaults to fill to get the same number of the same volume. So we are simply introducing a currency to help those who must of necessity carry money, to make sure that it is easier, it is cheaper for the country.
Okay, Mr. Carafol, let's get this in. We're trying to run out of time, actually, but
5,000 naira notes will not be. There's no way to not be far less printing 50, 100 notes.
All right,
and
what's
use it? Use the one that suits your particular transaction. The people who will need that, the people who will need the 50 cover notes, there are people who need the 1,000 naira.